Hey guys, welcome back to Unqualified Critics. ArcadeNet from AtGames is out. It is available on, I think, all their Legends products, but it's now paid. It's been out for a while in beta form, but it was free, but now we have this paid subscription service. It's purporting to be the Netflix of arcade gaming, and the question is, should you subscribe? Should you check it out? Well, the good news is, if you just want to try it temporarily, it's $20 for 1 month. But the reality is, if you know this is for you and you really want this as an ongoing service, there's a $60 for 6 months, or obviously that's $10 a month, which I think, all things considered, is a really, really good deal. But it's not going to be for everybody. And so I'm going to talk to you in this video my thoughts on the ArcadeNet service and whether or not I think you should subscribe. As with everything these days with AtGames, they throw everything at the wall and they see what sticks. There are benefits to that. You get a lot of value sometimes. Like here, when you sign up for ArcadeNet, you get a ton of stuff. You get games, you get pinball, you get all these different things. The other side of it is, well, it can be kind of messy and confusing, and that's also true with ArcadeNet. Sometimes I think AtGames would be better served with a less is more kind of mentality. I don't think that's what they're going to do. It's not in their DNA, and that's fine. That's cool. Not everything has to be the same. You know, it's fine for this to be kind of complicated, and Arcade 1-Up's over here with a different, less robust offering, but really straightforward. There's just a lot here, so I just want to try to cut through this for you in this video. First, let's talk about the games list, and then let's take a look at pinball. The best way I can describe this list of games is simply variety. We've got puzzle games, we've got shoot 'em ups, we've got side scrollers. There's a decent handful of SNK titles here, so if you missed out on the FVSX, this could be a good way to play at least a few of those games. I would have liked to have seen more SNK titles, but you know, for what we get, it's not bad. There are racing games. There's just so many different types here. A lot of these I had never heard of, so you are definitely going to get some more obscure titles. But given that it's an all-you-can-eat kind of model, play as much as you want, it is kind of fun to go through and discover new games. My hope with this is that they are going to add more titles over time, and it doesn't just stop here. I've come to really appreciate Game Pass on Xbox because they add new games all the time, and I find myself trying games I might not have otherwise had to try if I had to pay for them. So this is, you know, compared to a thing like the iArcade is going to have the ability to sell you titles like Shadow Dancer, which I'd be shocked if we ever saw Shadow Dancer pop up here for free, but you got to pay for it. So you got to know if you want to play Shadow Dancer, and that's a prominent game. You probably know that. But what about other games you may not have heard of, and you want to jump in and try those? If AtGames can deliver better and better games here, they're going to have a monster competitive advantage. But if it stops with the titles we have today, well, then it's going to be a nice to have, but not something you have to have as an arcade game enthusiast. Let's talk about pinball. Well, as I alluded to earlier, there are two different types of pinball here. There's the streamed pinball that you actually stream as you play it, and then there's pinball that you download and store locally and play that. The latter choice are Gottlieb tables. So these are going to be the tables taken from the Legends pinball, which I think is really cool. If you have a Legends Ultimate, for example, you might not have room for that and a Legends pinball. And of course, we've got that pinball kit that you can buy, or I think if you get the Sam's Club Legends Ultimate, you even get it for free. I don't have that pinball kit. And actually, I think playing the pinball games without that is kind of lame. I don't like having my hands up on the control panel horizontally. Playing pinball feels weird. But if you've got that kit, and now we're in business. Now you've got a cabinet that can do everything. And if you're living in an apartment or spaces at a premium, or you just don't want to spend a huge fortune on your retro gaming fix, I mean, man, it's hard to ask for a better all-in-one option than having a Legends product with the pinball kit. Plus, now you can download locally, play these awesome Gottlieb, or I think they're awesome Gottlieb tables. I know Gottlieb's not for everybody, and they're not the super exciting tables. They're not the Bally Williams, but I do like a lot of these tables. So, short version on pinball. If you've got the pinball kit, it's going to be really fun. If you don't, well, your mileage may vary. For me, it's not very interesting to play without those dedicated controls. Next up are the streamed pinball games. These are I think they're called VPX tables. I covered this previously. These are the non-commercial pinball tables that you're going to be able to play. And I'd love to tell you if these tables are any good or not. I really don't feel like I can tell you that. I played this for a couple minutes and I turned it off. The streaming has latency like streaming always does. Now, AtGames has a good streaming infrastructure. It's quite impressive. When I play Metal Slug, I don't even notice I'm streaming. But when I play pinball, you better believe I notice. Feel like there's a quarter second or so delay here, but I hit the button, there's a substantial delay, and then the flippers move. If any of you guys have the Sega Genesis Mini, which has fairly bad input delay, I would say this is 2 to 3 times as bad as that. Not necessarily AtGame's fault, it's just the nature of streaming. But I've been saying for a while, I don't think live game streaming and pinball make any sense together. I don't know why that's even here. I think it's a bad enough experience. It should probably be removed. We've got the Gauntlet tables we can play locally. We don't need the VPX stuff. But again, that's AtGames. It's more is more. It's never less is more. So they'll give you this stuff, and I guess it's up to you to decide if you want to use it. I will say the process of playing these tables is better than it was before. Before, you would have to download them from a computer to a thumb drive and go through all this crap. It was really a headache. Now you can do it actually on the Legends Ultimate. You can do everything through the Legends Ultimate. You don't need to involve a computer, so that's an improvement. I just don't think it's worth playing. On the sort of look and feel of the ArcadeNet service, I really would like to see more consistency across the ArcadeNet service and the actual cabinet itself. What do I mean by that? I just mean the menu for when you're in a game and you want to turn on the menu and add credits and things. It works totally different from the offline games to the streamed games. But even within ArcadeNet itself, the button mapping and everything for the streamed pinball versus the onboard pinball, well, not onboard until you download it, but the tables you can download and play locally, even that works differently. If you really think they'd have that sorted so it works the same with the same button mapping, it does not. It's just confusing, and it's one of those things where, I don't know if you guys are like me, when I turn on these products, I just want to play them and have fun. I don't want to think. I'm trying to turn my brain off. I'm not trying to turn it back on. And then I have to think twice. All right, how exactly do I do this? What button do I hit? How's the menu work? It just stops you kind of in your tracks. It's a minor thing. It's not a reason to not get ArcadeNet. It's just a head scratcher. I hope AtGames will clean that up a little bit and really unify that user experience. So who do I think this is for? And do I think everyone should buy this? If you've got a Legends Ultimate, you should for sure consider the paid service. Now, there is also the free service, which has a much, much, much smaller list of games, but they say that games list will rotate. And there are a couple other freebies, like a little bit of multiplayer, up to 2 people and stuff. It's fine. It wasn't really something I got interested in. I like that they have a free version. The names of the 2 versions a little confusing, standard and basic or whatever. I mean, why not call it premium and just regular? I mean, it's every little thing about this kind of gets confusing, and it makes it a little hard to talk about. But in any event, I think of it as ArcadeNet that you pay for and the free ArcadeNet. I do think you should consider the paid ArcadeNet if you have a Legends Ultimate, full stop. No matter what, you should consider it. Go to their website, take a look at the games list, see if it's for you. Here's what I think this is really for. If the Legends Ultimate, or whatever the Legends product is you have, if that's your primary way to play retro games, you don't have a whole basement full of other types of cabinets and stuff, this is your main deal, you're, I think, definitely going to want this service. For the equivalent of $10 a month, you're just getting so much. You're getting just some awesome brand name games. You're getting a really good experience for streaming those games outside of the pinball. You're getting the local pinball, and I'd really recommend that pinball kit if you don't have room for a dedicated virtual pin. It's going to be a nice substitute. So you're just getting really a lot of value, and I think it's probably a good thing to jump into if, again, that Legends product is your primary retro gaming device. I hope this was helpful. I wanted to break down with you guys what I think about ArcadeNet now that it's out and the service is basically finalized. But of course, this is an online service, so you will see that games list evolve over time. My hope is this becomes almost like an Xbox Game Pass, where they're adding games to that thing constantly. And this doesn't have to be quite as aggressive as Game Pass, but I think we get a couple extra games a month. Maybe they cycle some in and out, give us some fresh blood. I think that'd be really cool. Hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments, are you guys going to subscribe to the paid ArcadeNet service, or is it not for you? I'll talk to you soon.